What a cool listing this is. We're obviously starting by showing you this gorgeous Centennial 1591, that direct drive, just a workhorse of a machine. And I was extremely impressed as I went through this machine inside and out as far as the engineering of it. It was just designed and breathes heavy-duty sewing. But that's not as good as it gets. I want to quickly mention that beyond this incredible machine being the centerpiece of this listing, I'm also throwing in a very special bonus, and that bonus comes in the form of a 1959 Singer Spartan. It's specifically a model 192K that was born in Scotland, and it is also a beast of a machine when it comes to power, and yet the same length as a Singer Featherweight. You'll see more of that later, but I wanted to mention it so you can really understand the scope of value that's in this listing. Incredible value, so much great feedback from the Nietzsche combo set that we did a while back that I was kind of planning this and eventually pulled it together. So let's launch right away into this Centennial machine. This again is a Singer Model 1591, the workhorses of workhorse, and it's also a Centennial machine. Born obviously back in 1951, the Centennial year for Singer. And not only is it a good looking machine that you would be the envy at any quilting or sewing class, but boy does it love heavy duty sewing. Let's start right here, just below this gorgeous Centennial crest. This is obviously a spool pin for a spool of thread for bobbin winding. You're going to put your spool right here, come through this thread guide, and then come directly up to this bobbin winder here. Once you put your bobbin on, you'll simply engage it to the hand wheel. And as that thread fills on that bobbin, it's going to automatically disengage. Let's drop straight down here, right to this area right here. Couple things to point out here. This is obviously the control center for stitch length. Stitch length on this machine is huge, anything from 6 stitches per inch all the way down to 30 stitches per inch. And you also have this very cool thumb screw that allows you to set a range. You can simply unscrew it and either move it up or down in conjunction with moving your stitch length so that you can set, let's say for example I set it right here, that's going to be the peak of my stitch length for going down to say 20 stitches per inch, and then I can go back and forth if I want from there down to say 6 or 7 stitches per inch. But the cool feature about this is it gives you the ability to set that range, and then you don't go outside of that range that's preset. So if you've got a project goal of operating say between 7 stitches per inch and say 20 stitches per inch, you're guaranteed that by using this very cool feature that is very unique to the Singer 1591. Also, by moving this control all the way up, you can easily sew in reverse and then simply bring it back down into the forward range to resume sewing forward again. Let me show you an example of an applique that we did while we were preparing to list this machine, and I think it does an excellent job of really showing the creative output of what a traditional straight stitch machine can do when it's of this caliber. You can see towards the inner part of this where we've got this very beautiful hand painted, I'll just call it kind of a Mother Nature or something of that nature. It's kind of a mythical figure of nature. And as we move into fall, I suppose it's appropriate to have something like this. But you can see right around this area, we're pretty close to that 20 to 30 stitches per inch. And as we move to the outer boundaries though, and we use a darker thread to really nicely frame it, we're pretty close to that 6 to 7 stitches per inch. But the final result is just a beautiful illustration of what a quality straight stitch machine can do when it's of this caliber. And you are just as capable of doing a project like this, a creative project, with just a little creative spark and a machine of this quality. Also, I'll quickly show you, as always, we always love to include an instruction manual. This is obviously a reprint, but we've had it professionally bound, so it's a resource to you. And this manual serves basically two purposes. First of all, it's going to allow you to maximize this machine. whether it's threading the machine while you're getting to be familiar with the machine or different features on this machine. You know, it guides you to those answers so quickly. Singer does a wonderful job on their manuals in general, but this manual in particular, and you can see if I just kind of quickly fan it, boy, do they give you resource information so that there are no questions left unanswered when it comes to what this machine can do. And boy, can it do everything when it comes to heavy-duty sewing, or quilting for that matter. The second purpose of a manual like this is it's going to allow you to maintain this machine. Now, when you get this 1591, and also the 1591's little sister, as I'll refer to it, that beautiful Scottish machine that we're throwing in as a bonus, that Spartan machine, made also by Singer, it is going to help you to maintain that machine and this machine as well. We've also got a manual for that Spartan as well. You know, maintaining it is key to having that optimal sewing performance that you'll discover when you get this machine in your home after we went through it with a fine tooth comb. But this machine will also guide you through that routine maintenance as it comes due to keep it forever running at that high optimal running level. Okay, let's go back to the machine again. We've already covered the stitch length area. We covered this very cool stitch length range setting that is very unique to this 1591. If we go to the top of the machine now, and I'm going to just slightly rotate the machine so that you can see a little bit more of the faceplate. And I think I probably rotated a little bit far, but you'll get the idea. If we go back up to the top of the machine here, you can see we obviously have the main thread feed to go sewing. And as we come across, threading it's not too hard. There's a single guide right on the back. We're going to drop down then through the tension control area, come up around that tension spring. We're then going to come up to the arm and then come back across the faceplate through another thread guide right here. Now, before I take you down to the presser foot, let me just point out a couple things real quick. I love the 1591 because of where they place that tension control. Most machines are going to have that tension control right on the front. It sometimes can be a source of distraction, kind of gets in your line of sight. With it back here, it does its job, it does it perfectly, and yet it's out of your line of sight, so you can focus with a great deal more ability and ease on what's happening at the needle and even what's happening at the bed. So really smart engineering and putting it out of the way so it can do its job but not be a source of distraction. Also, I'll point out again, as far as the envy factor in taking this to a quilting or a sewing class, has a gorgeous faceplate on it as well. And many of you are looking strictly for a heavy-duty machine. You don't care about the bells and whistles, you don't care about the beauty factor, but it's there if you want to do a little bit of gloating and show it off a little bit. Okay, now follow me down to the presser foot if you would. You can see as we're finishing that thread sequence, we come right through here, down through another thread guide just above the needle, and then we thread through the needle. And this is important, we thread through the needle left to right, not right to left. And notice how much clearance we have underneath that presser foot. Now that's not as good as it gets. If I engage the hyperextension, watch how much we gain as far as clearance. We gain a substantial amount in clearance. So whether you're looking to do some serious quilting or heavy-duty sewing, you'll see the value of this as well when we do the heavy-duty sew-offs. So what a spectacular listing. Let me rotate this back again. Absolutely a spectacular listing. Not only are you getting the much coveted Singer 1591 with that amazing direct drive power. Again, I haven't mentioned up to this point that it has a 0.6 amp motor that peaks at about 0.0 amp. The bonus we're throwing in is even a sweeter addition because that mighty Spartan has a 0.8 amp motor that has incredible burst when it goes to heavy duty sewing as well. And you'll see that. You don't have to take my word for it. As usual, we'll demonstrate that for you as well on camera. So check out those other videos, both relating to this amazing 1591 and also that mighty but very petite Spartan, also made by Singer.